is literally in one of those seats in the Capitol, one of the black men in those seats inside the Capitol, but yet he's out here in the community. He never forgot where he came from. He never forgot the people. He makes sure he stands up for us, and he shows up for us. He shows up for our families that have lost loved ones, to police violence. He stands up when it's community violence, and he just stands up for everybody. And it's only right that we take care of each other and take care of the people that takes care of us. So, the first thing that I want to say is thank you, Representative John Thompson. And if you can stand for a second and we can just give him a hand clap. First and foremost, thank you for all your efforts. Thank you for your fight. Thank you for your genuineness. And most of all, thank you for your heart, for the people and for the community that you refuse to give up on, no matter how much they try to sway you, and get you to go along with things. You will not be quiet. You will not be silenced, and we thank you for that. So give them one more round of applause. Now, and also she is the founder of Justice Squad here in Minnesota. So we will now call forward Ashley Quinones. Thank you.
Thank you. So basically, I just wanted to give a shout out for Unity Cafe. He actually knew my husband and knew my friend Brianna, who was in Justice Squad that died last year from COVID. And so he got that concept for this cafe. So it's really based off of justice. And so I'm glad the movement's here. And then, thank you. And I love John Thompson. He's been there consistently, like ever since everything with me happened. And I've watched him even when I couldn't be out there. So thank you, John. And thanks to Shira.
Thank you. And now,
that he is the first person to say anything about these reforms. Where is the inclusion? Things of this nature, John has been lifting up nonstop at the Capitol. And he's also brought back money from the East Side, $71 million in the last 2 years. I think this is really important to recognize. This has came into our community just during this crisis, right? He had to fight for it. We shouldn't have to fight for these small common sense reforms, but we do. And so, after learning about this work, taking 2 years to craft and perfect.
Instead of just watching CNN, we have somebody here that we actually support and lean against and stand behind, which is very special. It's a unique experience for all of us living in this day and time right now to experience him on his journey. So I want to thank you for being the person that you are and taking on that challenge. I know it's not hard, but I also know it's hard because I know you're going to do it, so it's not hard because you're supposed to do it, right?
Come on.
But we got your back.
That's
on
right.
Our part, like the polls, like donations and stuff like that. That's what we're here for. So we want to stand behind you, trying to donate some money. Even if I could, I would donate some money as well, since it's Ramadan as well. So then we're going to be charitable this month. So I think God should.
Alhamdulillah.
Trying to stand behind our brother. But also, I think what is important to talk about is what you stand behind, the causes, and the things that you would really bring to the table being a black man. Trey talked about that, the disparities and things like that. So I think you will have a voice that will be very unique, that will stand up for a lot of people that are going to be behind you. You might not hear our voice, you might not see us right there physically with you, bro, but we're right there with you in our soul, in your heart, in your mind, all the time. So if there's any problems or any type of cause that you feel like it's too tough for you, just know we're right behind you, telling you you can, okay? I just want to thank you for doing what you can and continue doing what you're supposed to do and being who you're supposed to be. And live out your legacy and your destiny, and we'll be right there cheering you on, brother.
That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. And I will say, Phil, you want to say something?
Yeah, because I have to.
Okay, come on. So without further ado, we will call forward our representative, John Thompson. Thank you.
Hey. So I get to finally grab the microphone and I can talk for as long as I want
So we're out there all the time, like, John, you got it? a whole list of speakers here. We got a family.
Hey, man.
We got a lot of people that want to speak today. And he's like, okay, sister, okay. Then he say, okay, I'm going to go short today. Then he goes up there and he goes, for a long time, and I'm like, John.
So much to say.
Now you're going to say, I get to talk as long as I want to. Yeah, John, he wants to today. Hey, give him another round of applause again.
So I am the current Minnesota State Representative. So I'm not running for office. I'm already in office.
That's right.
That's right.
So I'm the current Minnesota State Representative, and I represent District 67A, which covers most of the east side, the Payne-Phelan district over on the east side of St. Paul. And somebody just asked me that, like, why are you doing it again? I said, because I can. But I can, though, right? Like, I can show my son. I can show my son that we can be something different, right? I can actually show little kids also. Somebody asked you about my platform. And nobody can speak about me better than me. But my wife, I think about it. Nobody can speak for me better than me, honestly. Why am I doing this? A lot of people ask me, well, do you think I should run for politics? And I'm like, man, I already took that hit for the community. But we can. Amen. That's why. If somebody asks you why you doing it, because you can. You can do something different than what people think you're supposed to do.
Come on.
Right? Like, I'm honestly doing something that nobody in my entire generation has ever done throughout we go back and with the Ancestry.com, like, I can't find nobody in my family that ever put something like this on my plate. So I can put this on my son's plate. I had a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old son, right? So we talk about education, like this sizing our kids up for jumpsuits right now in the education field, our babies, 5, 6-year-old young men. They call it the achievement gap. I call it the new pipeline to prison. We talk about achievement, opportunities. Like, these tactics never change, just the faces. So I'm clear as to what my platform is. I won't conform until the system conforms for my community.
Come on.
And I said, what is your platform? I will not conform unless the system conforms for my community. And make no mistake, black people, because I'm in a room full of black people. Black people, like, they're very careful with their votes. Like, I'm not going to vote for you. You can't just tell me what you're going to do. You got to show me what you're going to do, right? And so, if I come to your door and I say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm not at least trying to do this stuff, I'm just a waste of a black body sitting in that legislative seat, and I need to come home and sit down somewhere. And a lot of times, that's what we get. And so, again, I won't conform, because what's happened time and time again is a lot of people who get into these seats, they conform and forget what the mission was in the first place.
Come on.
And that's the people over the political rhetoric that happens in all of these seats, not just the state seat, but the federal seats and the city seats and the county seats, right? A lot of these people you see right now are veteran politicians, right? And they've been here for years. And so they say, well, we've been trying to fix the achievement gap, but it happened under your watch.
Come on.
It happened under your watch. So why would we keep asking for the same thing over and over and over again and trying to, like, look for a different result? I can't actually, like, sit down and say nothing. I can sit down and I can be quiet. Or I can stand up and say, Brian Keone has deserved to be here with us. Amen. I can stand up and say, Justin Teagan deserves to be here. Hardell Sherrill deserves to be here with us. Because these are human beings, right? Okay, so I stand up and I say, Justin Teagan, Hardell Sherrill, your husband should be here with us. And they say, oh, now John Thompson, the anti-police guy, but wait a minute. I'm not just a one-trick pony. Because there are root problems in this state which create the atmosphere for brothers that look just like me, that we're all looked at as criminal.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers can't afford to have a mental health breakdown. Brothers can't afford to have an attitude. Brothers can't afford to jaywalk. Brothers can't afford to curse. Brothers can't afford to be mad.
Come on.
We can't afford to be mad at our best friend being murdered by the police.
Come on.
Or now we're an angry black person.
That's right.
Like, we don't have every single right to be mad. And so I was mad. I've been mad. I've been mad for a long time. I've been angry for a long time. You know, when I was mad, I was trying to make a difference. And that's what I was saying when I was mad, because I was angry, furious when Philando was murdered. I was furious, angry. Then I went from furious and angry to mad. And when I said mad, I said I'm going to make a difference. And so I said I'm going to be the change that I want to see in my community. So I put my name on the ballot.
That's right.
I put my name on the ballot. And out of respect for the incumbent, I said to the incumbent, I'm going to meet him for coffee, and I want to talk to him and let him know that I want to run for his seat. And the incumbent said, well, maybe you are better off working a few campaigns because I don't think you can be the incumbent. Or maybe you should go for city council. Maybe you should go for school board, like work in a few different political seats before you try to come for this seat. And share with the incumbent. As a matter of fact, much respect to Representative Tim Mahoney. But I share with the incumbent, that's fine. But the problems I see aren't countywide. The problems I see aren't citywide.
Right.
The problems I see here are statewide. And it's happened under your watch for the past 22 years. This is the conversation I had with our incumbent. Well, behold, 2 weeks later, he announced he's retiring because 7,000 people vote for this man every single year. And I'm just explaining the game that brothers and sisters like us don't pay attention to. 7,000 people voted for this man every 2 years. Uncontested race. For 22 years. I mean, for 22 years, we were getting nothing. He was comfortable giving us nothing.
Come on.
For 22 years. And so, not only when I put my name on the ballot, I wanted to make sure that people understood how serious I was. And so I knocked every door. I called to people like, you call me again, I'm voting for the person running against you. I actually flooded the parking lots. I called everywhere. I did not leave one stone unturned. And I had a pretty dope team also. In years, I wanted to make sure that people understood that my numbers. And so I had 17,000 people vote for me.
Come on.
See the difference? That's 7,000 people every year. I'm so serious about being the change and showing people that they can be the change that they want to see in their community. You don't have to complain to these people anymore. You don't have to ask for a seat at the table. We can take our seat.
Come on.
Right now, these people they're figuring out ways to lock our youth up. And rightly so, some of these kids, by the way, I'm unapologetic when I say this. Some of these kids need help. Some of these kids need help. And I've never been one for incarceration because I've never seen the Department of Corrections correct any behavior ever.
Come on.
Ever. But what I do know is that a lot of things that we're not investing in are creating a lot of the problems that we're seeing in our community right now. There's not a chance in hell that some of these brothers can get a Tesla. It's not that they don't even see that in their future. There's not a chance in hell. People don't even see home ownership in their future right here in our community. There's not a chance. So what do? They try to get it the best way they can. And sometimes these are criminal acts. Some of these kids are carjacking just for the thrill of driving a nice car.
Come on.
Right? If we show them, man, if we show our kids that they can get the same car that everybody else got. If we create the pathway that the people have actually created a pathway for us, like we're actually standing on the feet of some heavy hitters. We talk about the civil rights movement, like Martin Luther King died for us. Malcolm X died for us. Gandhi, Nelson Mandela. These are people who actually put their life on the line for us. We owe it to them.
Yes, sir.
We owe it to them to show our youth. Somebody showed us. Nobody gave up on us. We owe it to them, and we have become comfortable. And I'm not blaming us because we have so many underlying issues in our community. I knew my community was going to be in the epidemic after the pandemic. I don't know about y'all, but I knew that. We have so many underlying issues in our community that we can't afford to misstep, right? That we persevere everything, y'all. We can't let them take our babies. And I know it seems like the work that a lot of us in this room are doing, man. I know it seems like it's like thankless work and work, and I know it seems like it's work that isn't generating any fruit. But I promise you, we're not going to see the fruit of our labor, but our grandkids will. Our babies will. And so, why am I running for office? I'm running for office again, man, because honestly, this is the second time around. I sit on the Agriculture and Finance Committee. I sit on the Education Finance Committee. I sit on the Higher Education Finance Committee. And I sit on the Behavioral Health and Human Service Committee. I came to the Delaware State Capitol trying to change the use of deadly force statutes. That's what I was concerned with. And so when I got all these committees, I was angry. I didn't get the Public Safety Committee. Like, that's what I wanted. That's what I'm here for, right? I'm angry. I'm not all these committees. Like, what I know about agriculture and finance, right? Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't want to sit on the Agriculture and Finance Committee, right? And then I have to go to Ag Finance. And I find out that there's only 3 black farmers and 3 black farmers in the entire state of Minnesota. I only found 3 black farmers. And you know how much money is going out of this state? Agriculture and finance. They're sending money out of this state by the millions in pesticide for farmers. Y'all know who used to plow the cotton fields, who used to pick the cotton fields. Y'all know who used to raise their cattle. Y'all know who used to slaughter the cows. We taught them how to farm.
Come on.
And here's a career pathway that has been ripped from the black community. When you're leaving Minnesota and you're going to these rural areas of Minnesota, you don't know any black people that own farms with cattle and chickens and pigs and goats and, you know what I mean? Like, we own none of that property. No farms on this country. So, what they're feeding our kids. What are they feeding our kids? Right? But if I'm not on the Agriculture Finance Committee, here's what I learned. Shout out to Chair Representative Sundin, who's the chair of the Agriculture Finance Committee. I can sit down with Chair Sundin, and I can say to Chair Sundin, hey Chair, you know, back when I was in grade school, we used to sing, "Oh, MacDonald has a farm." But yeah, I don't think that black man on the farm here in this state no more. I had that conversation with somebody who, and when I had the conversation, he laughed.
Yeah.
But you can bring him into our world so that they understand our world, so now they can help because they have the keys to rooms we can never get into. Right?
Yes.
And when I said this is something I just learned. Because I was showing up ready to, God damn it, I'm sick of this, right? They just shut down on us. But actually, Chair Sundin really wants to help us create pathways for African American farmers and farmers of color. The chair of the Agriculture and Finance Committee, because of conversations that I've had with him, is trying to figure out how we get funding, not to rural Minnesota, but to St. Paul, Minnesota. How we get funding, not to Wayzata, Minnesota, but to Minneapolis, Minnesota. How many of y'all think about farming? I did. The farmers and legislative farmers, like, here's the reality of like agriculture and finance and climate. The climate I live in, our kids are dodging bullets, so that farming industry wasn't on my radar, right? I had no idea. I'm still trying to figure out the education piece, y'all. Like, cause I'm just. Hey,
I got you back.
I'm just like. Here's what I'm saying though, because I do understand the education. What I don't understand is why we're playing like what we're saying is happening to our babies is not happening. That's what I don't understand about education. And when we talk about it, here's something that you should look at. Look at the finance committee. It looks like a Target Corporation. Right? So who's making decisions for how the state is financed? The same people who we're saying we're tired of.
Right.
And if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. I know that sounds cliche. I know that sounds like people always say that all the time, but 9 times out of 10, we're not at the table. I probably had 4 black organizations come to me with issues since I've been in office. That's bad. I'm a black legislator, y'all. Issues that matter to the black community, I should be the first one to hear about because I'm in the state seat to help push those issues. We can't keep blaming the white man for our shit. I'm here because I'm sick and tired of complaining about what we don't have. And we don't have to complain. We can make them give it to us. I don't have to get up the microphone.
What can you
Nah, this is your
Wait.
stuff.
Just let me just get two more talking points, and then we can ask whatever question you want to. There are brothers who come home from prison, right? They serve their time. Some brothers serve 20 years, some brothers serve 25 years, some brothers serve 10 years, 5 years, but they come home from prison. I said I'm sorry for 10 years in a row. I said I'm sorry for whatever crime I was found guilty of for 10 years in a row. There's no reason why a brother should be living in a tent and he's working a job 80 hours a week.
Come on.
And because he has a felony on his record, he can't get a rental. Brother's getting a paycheck. Alright, I said I was sorry for 10 years of my life, and then I come home and I still have to pay for the rest of my life. Their job's looking at me right now like, I'm not hiring this felon. Not me, but the brother who apologized for 10 years in a row of his life.
Exactly.
Who's on the parole board? Look like the Target Corporation. Again, we're not at the table, we're on the menu. Who's responsible for making sure you get parole? Don't look like us. Have you ever seen a jury of your peers in the courtroom? Don't look like us. How many black judges you know? I'm trying to like draw like, you see what I'm saying? There are brothers who did not go to prison, who haven't went to prison, who may have been charged with a misdemeanor, who may have been charged with a crime as a teenager. As a teenager. Maybe brother was a knucklehead, had several crimes he's committed as a teenager. Now this brother is trying to live his life right, get on the right track. He's trying to raise his family, and he got white employers looking at him like, well, you know when you were 18 years old, you committed a felony burglary and blah, 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 blah. But I was found not guilty. I was charged with that. I was found not guilty. But because I was charged with it, because it's on my record, that denied me of access to opportunities. The tactics have never changed, y'all, just for faces. And they're going to always view us as criminal until we change the narrative. And I mean this like, I want to wear Jordans, I want to wear Air Jordans, I want to wear Nikes, I want to wear baseball cap. We have to like show our shorties that it's cool to wear a suit again. We got to show them that we don't need another rapper in our community, that we need people that's going to actually be the change for us. We need lawyers, we need doctors, we need politicians, we need culturally intelligent teachers in our schools and administrators. We need culturally intelligent principals and mental health workers. We need access to the same access they have in Wayzata and Breck and all of these other surrounding neighborhoods who don't pay as much as we pay in taxes here in this state. I wouldn't know this. I wouldn't even know this had they not killed my friend Fernando Castillo. I wouldn't even be here. I was comfortable being a machinist for 11 years, a machinist. I made good money as a machinist. Here you are, my friend gets murdered, and you give me nothing. And so I become a legislator, and as a legislator, George Floyd gets murdered, and you give me nothing. Dante Wright, murdered, and we still get nothing. Right?
Yeah.
You know, if Dante Wright had a 6-figure job, he'd still be here today.
That's right.
You know, if George Floyd had a 6-figure job, he'd still be here today.
That's right.
And if Fernando Castillo had on his St. Paul Public School smock and apron, he'd still be here today. And I'm only speaking like this, y'all, because I've never been a politician. And I know y'all heard me say this before. I've been black all my life, so I know the issues that matter in the black community and how to fix them. Particularly on the east side of St. Paul, and this, I promise y'all, I'm going to be quiet after this. I promise
your time,
y'all.
brother.
Actually, any question you want to. On the east side of St. Paul, it's a very diverse neighborhood. It's a very diverse district, right? Like there's Somali, there's Oromo, there's Eritrean, there's Hmong, there's black, there's white people. But what I do know about the east side of St. Paul is a lot of times we use our diversity as our strength to get the things that we need done on the east side of St. Paul. So first of all, I want to say I'm honored to be the state representative here on the east side. And I'm honored to be running again my second term. And I will be the next Minnesota State Representative sitting in the House.
That's right.
Don't be shy. If you go to JohnThompsonForThePeople.com. JohnForThePeople.com. www.JohnThompsonForThePeople.com. That's the website. You can go to the Act Blue and donate because it's going to take us. We have a primary to run. I'm not into like talking about who's running against me or who else is in the race. I don't see past John Thompson. And so, I mean, no, that's not a shot to anybody else, but I don't have time for that because I know my people need me, and I know the East Side needs somebody like me that's going to be outspoken and not afraid to get punched in the side of the head if that's going to get what we need in our community. And so with that, I want to say thank you all again for that.
Champion swag, King Asar, Kivo, Process, CT, DJ Supersport.